Oh, man. DNVR Broncos live. Coming to you from the DNVR Bar here on the corner of Colfax and York in beautiful and sunny downtown Denver, Colorado. Happy Friday.
Happy
Andre
Friday.
Simone.
Woo! When's the last time we did a Broncos pod together? Like the Lakewood office?
Maybe.
On the soundboard? Like,
Oh, man. I'm sure.
it's incredible.
I feel like I remember doing a bets-focused Broncos show with you in the DNVR era for sure.
I mean, Henry kind of became the call-up guy, and it's been a three-man beat for a while. It's just... Yeah, so pleasure doing this with you, my guy, on a Friday. This is fun.
It is great doing this with you. It's essentially like a extended bets show.
I mean, yeah, that's how you positioned it. Very clever of you.
Yes.
Astute.
Yes. If you haven't tuned into our bet show, we've been doing it for a long time. We have a lot of fun with it.
Or a tailgate. I've seen us on a tailgate or two.
And we're going to talk Broncos bets today because that's what we are good at. And I also think it's an interesting way of framing the conversation of what's this team going to look like this year based off of what we think is going to hit from a season-long prop perspective.
Yes.
Usually, you know, we have some sort of weird story to tell at the beginning of the show. You got anything for me? You told me your cats have herpes.
Oh, yeah. It's true. It's so weird. And my cat Gallo has like the flu right now. He's snuggling me in bed. He's rubbing his nose on me, and it's all wet. I told him if I
He's
wanted
giving you herpes, bro.
if I wanted some animal to rub their disgusting wet nose on me, I would have gotten a dog.
That's a great point.
And his eyes all droopy. He's
Oh,
just looking
God.
more scraggly than usual. I don't think he's
Henry would not be able to handle this conversation.
self-cleaning himself as much because he's feeling off. So, Gallo the cat, we're thinking of you. Get better soon, I beg you.
Get well soon.
Get well soon. We need it. So, he was like sitting behind me on the couch and he's like sneezing on my neck. It's insane.
Oh my
man.
God.
Yeah.
This sounds horrible.
My kid isn't like this
I
when
was gonna
she's sick. Like, what's going on with Gallo the cat?
I've had a lot of dogs in my life. I don't think I've ever had one like sit behind me and sneeze on me
Right.
or
It's a
like
new
actively
experience.
rub their nose on me.
I know. It's a weird one.
That is weird.
Yeah. This herpes has him. He's got it bad.
Tay Swift is in town.
Whoo! T Swift.
Would you consider yourself a Swiftie?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Any Swifties in the room? Nick? You a Swiftie?
Not really.
So that was a half.
There's a lot of we appreciate her art in the rooms.
Alyssa?
Yeah, I appreciate her. I'm not a crazy
Okay. You weren't waiting in line for merch yesterday? That is crazy,
That's
man.
crazy.
So, I don't know if you guys at home have been following the Tay Swift sensation,
Yeah,
which is
sure
like
is.
leveled up somehow. Like, I already thought it was crazy.
I know.
It went to a new level this summer.
Her fame knows no bounds.
It really doesn't. It's like we've surpassed the Beatles at this point.
I think so. I didn't think that in this on-demand pick and choose your entertainment, we could have a star this big anymore.
I didn't either.
I thought we peaked in like CDs and VHS analog era because everyone's watching the same thing.
You have
so
to pick one thing to do.
Right, you can only like I thought Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, like no one would ever be more famous than
You've got $15. You can buy one CD. What are you buying?
Right. We're all just buying and watching the same thing.
Now for $8 a month, you can listen to literally any song that's ever been created.
All the music in the history of the world. It actually kind of like people tell us with our memberships and free shirt. They're like, guys, I'm worried you're losing money on this. That also feels like you're losing money.
Exactly. So in the world where you can listen to whatever you want, more people than ever are only choosing to listen to one thing, which is crazy.
Swifties are amazing.
I would consider myself a dabbler. Like, I think Swiftie is a strong term,
Oh, yeah.
but I enjoy the music.
Oh, yeah.
I respect her fame.
Swifty's like Bronco-holic, you know?
I'm interested in the happenings around Taylor Swift.
Oh, yes. We're fascinated by that community. No doubt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As a community, like we're in the business of community.
We're in the community biz,
If you're not like taking a peek at Taylor Swift and being like, what is she doing so right? You're just doing it wrong.
I don't even understand.
I don't either. So yesterday, Swiftville came to Denver.
Descended upon us.
When it's the Grateful Dead, it's Shakedown Street.
Hell yeah.
Somehow we've like recreated that for Taylor Swift. They just opened up like a pop-up merch tent outside of the stadium.
Yep.
That's like the first official event of this weekend. Like thousands of people lined up to try to get their hands on a blue crew neck sweatshirt.
It's like a Jack in the Box line in Utah, only 4 times that size. It was insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So 2 shows, one tonight, one tomorrow night, and it's like $1,500 just to get in the door. Like double
That's pre
what it was to get into the NBA Finals a couple weeks ago. And we're at Empower, which is over 3 times the size of Ball Arena.
Nuts.
What? Like, she's printing money.
She's wow.
It's unbelievable. So, congrats to her.
Amazement.
Shout out to all the Swifties out there, especially the ones in Denver. I hope you guys have the best weekend.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Soak in every moment.
Is it like Deadheads? Like, are we, taking shrooms and acid and going to the Tay Swift show?
I get the feeling that's not the case.
Oh, okay.
But I did see a quote tweet from Susie Hunter from a tweet from someone else.
Our resident biggest Swiftie?
I should
think so.
I should hope so. Who, I don't know, T Swift was hanging out at a bar place thing
In Denver?
and Susie quote tweeted it with T Swift entering her weed era. You love to see it, something along those lines. So maybe
Damn.
maybe that transition.
They start
happening.
burning it down at Tay Swift
Holy
shows.
shit! Now you've got my attention.
Okay, so speaking of tickets that are hard to get, that was the whole point of this transition.
What a transition!
That was a 12-minute transition.
Holy cow!
Tickets that are hard to get. Broncos training camp, the only ticket almost as hard to get in town as a Tay Swift ticket.
Crazy.
It is absolutely wild. The Broncos, for the first time ever, are actually not the first time ever. They did this once before. The second time ever, are requiring you to get a ticket to go to training camp. Now, this pretty much only has drawbacks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're capping it around 3,000 fans, which is about like less than half as many as went to the Broncos Cowboys joint practice last year.
It's over 7,000, I believe. Yep.
And it sucks. It just sucks. Training camp should be something that, like, you look down at your watch and you're like, oh shit, like, I have my lunch break right now. I work on the south side of town. I'm gonna run over to Broncos training camp, catch a couple snaps.
Right. Or it's just like, oh man, kid goes back to school in 3 days. Let's just play hooky and take him to training camp.
Yes. The in-laws are in town. They love the Broncos.
Right.
Here's a great way to kill a couple hours with them.
Right. Or Oppo, in-laws in town. I hate the in-laws. I'm going to training camp instead to get out the house.
Exactly. And so it's a bummer to me.
Yeah.
And what really bums me out is the process of getting tickets for something that are free really throws a wrench in the gears, in my opinion. because by making them free, you gave the green light for anyone who's thinking about maybe potentially if some things fall for me, I can go to next Monday's training camp practice. I'm going to snag tickets. And I think 30% of these people will end up not being able to get out of work that day, couldn't get a sitter.
Something comes up.
Because
it's camp. It's not a game.
Exactly. You're not like moving mountains to make it to camp.
Right.
But since it's free,
maybe weather comes up on the day you got tickets. You're like, screw it. I don't want to deal with it.
Exactly. Since it's free, sure, I'll claim my tickets. And so now you have a situation where a ton of people have tickets, and then people that are actually trying to go to training camp that day might not be able to get one. So yesterday on Twitter, people are talking about this. What's going to happen to all the unused tickets? Damani Leach, who I very much love the fact that he's online. I think like every organization needs at least one important person who's online. So he saw the conversation, and I love that he saw the conversation. And he chimed in. So Parker Gabriel of the Denver Post,
legendary name.
He said it'll be interesting to see if Broncos come up with a way for people to release their tickets back into a pool last minute if they can't make it / decide to attend camp one day. Damani chimes in. He says, yes, we understand plans change. We're finalizing a way for fans to have the ability to return their Broncos camp tickets if they can no longer attend. Fans still looking to get camp tickets should check back regularly for updated availability. So now it's like my routine between shows where I go and refresh the City of Denver golf tee times page, to see if one's opened up at City Park. This won't work. Heart's in the right place, Damani. Love that you thought of this.
At least we offer some flexibility.
It won't work.
You're saying there's a chance.
No. I'm saying there's not a chance.
It's not going to work great. It's a good first attempt. For effort.
It's a great attempt, but this person who we're talking about who woke up planning to go to Broncos training camp and now realizes they have to take their kid to YMCA camp or whatever they're in and can't make it, isn't thinking like, oh, let me hop on the app, relinquish my tickets to make sure another Broncos fan gets these.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 out of 100 people who don't use their tickets will be like, oh, I don't think I'm going to use these. I'd love for this to go to a fellow Broncos fan.
The Zach Stevens of the world.
Yes.
The pre-planners and good folks. You know, I think Zach's 1 in a million. You said 1 in 100. Let's hope. Gosh.
Yeah.
If we have 1 in 100 Zach Stevens, we're actually in a great place. We're going to solve a lot of the issues we've got going.
How long after Zach's crosses his oil change mileage do you think he gets his oil changed? Like, he probably hits it on the way to the oil change.
He's sniffing it out to where he has it down where that 15% hits, and he's pulling into the oil spot.
He's like, well, it's a 5-mile drive from here to the oil change. So I just have to make sure I leave when there's 5 miles left.
Oh, he's timed that out. He has it down to a science. For all we know, he might do his own oil. He might have a friend who does his own oil changes.
I'm in the category of people who Google how many miles can you really go over the number that it says you should get an oil change. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
There's also got to be people who just like never do it.
I've gone 5%. I've gone 0%.
Percent of what?
Oil life. It can give you a percentage, and you can go in the negative on that. Just check your oil.
Okay.
Sure, an oil change would have been great, but as long as there's still oil in the motor, I think your car will run and not break down and be ruined forever, which is what you are trying to avoid.
That is what I'm trying to avoid. Yep. I don't really care about my Carfax, but I am trying to get from point A to point B.
Right, absolutely.
So anyways, there's not a lot of Zach Stevens out there who already know now what their plan is for 3 weeks from now.
No doubt.
What's going to happen, Dre, is you're going to have 1,000-person crowds on the hill for training camp.
It's going to be mad sad. And we'll switch it back. We'll do the old switchback.
I think we will do the old switchback next year. But in the process of defending themselves for this whole decision,
Yeah.
they also uncovered that they're like only legally allowed to have 3,300 people on the berm.
Shoot.
So I don't know if we can switch back.
Dang. We've passed the point of no return there, huh?
Yeah.
Shoot.
So
That
it sucks.
Stinks.
I think Brandon in the comments says, my first 2 cars, I feel like I never got an oil change.
That's our guy, Brandon.
Ooh, there's another category of people. Self-oil changers.
Yeah. Those are special.
Those are.
Those are special. Couldn't even. I think those guys get a funnel.
You go over to their house for like a dinner party. He's coming out from under the car, cleaning off his hands.
What a move, man.
What a guy.
Move, yeah.
That bums me out, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the better, Damani, if you're listening, the better way to do it would be to essentially tell people, like, we'll let 100 people line up every day, first 100 people, and that 100 people will get the claim to the tickets that don't get used.
I like that. I like that. And you're kind of ensured that, like, at least 100 drop out. If you're going to show up, you'll get in.
And, like, there's a cutoff. Like, if you're not here by...
Also, how are they controlling this? Barriers? Like, is this...
Yeah, they'll just make you go like you're going into a stadium.
We're doing this out by the lot before you can even get in? Because it's just a hill. Like,
No,
anyone can
there's a fence between the parking lot and the hill. A wall, actually, not a fence.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah. I appreciate the effort. I don't appreciate the original decision to go to tickets.
Yep. Yep. I hear that. What we do appreciate is Backus and Shanker.
Wow.
They win for Colorado. They win for you and your Colorado family. The beauty of Backus and Shanker, they are free until they win money in your case. No fees while they work it. No fees unless you win and they win money for you. It's a real team deal. Backus, Shanker, and you. You're like a big three, you know?
Yeah. I met Kyle Backus. He strikes me as a oil change on time kind of guy. And that's the person I want to be my lawyer.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they kind of are that kind of organization. Great callback. They've obviously won over $1 billion for their clients all over the metro area. Now with even more locations all over Colorado, including neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Inglewood, and Fort Collins. Backus and Shanker, they win for you. In injury cases, car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks, you name it. If you want to sue, smash that too.
Yes.
222-2222. There you go. To find if they have a case
What's nice?
for you. And of course,
I can do it. You
Shady
just tell
Rays,
me who it
baby.
is. Ooh, Shady Rays.
you rocking those in Vegas?
2 different pairs.
Yeah, that's how Shady does it.
Yeah. Shady Rays, use the code DNVR. You get 2 pairs for the price of 1.
It's insane.
And then you go to Vegas and you're like, huh, is today a black sunglasses day or is it a tortoise sunglasses day?
Yes.
And you get to make that decision. That's up to you.
By the pool might be a tortoise. look,
I was
you know?
going tortoise to the cabana.
Yeah, absolutely.
Circa was hooking us up with cabanas at the pool.
Oh my gosh. We were rocking the Shady Rays Wallen suits at Zach's wedding. It was glorious. We look fashionable. And that high altitude sun's no joke. Those lenses, they've got you covered.
They're
you know?
polarized.
Polarized.
And
So
through
good,
my
man.
polarized lenses,
Yeah,
I could
one of
see,
these.
oh my God, that's Yarmer Yager in the pool.
Legit. That's
a real
Shady
thing
Rays
that happened.
Increases your vision. You'll see top 5 consensus all-time NHL greats in the cabana near you.
Yeah,
If you're
when I was
rocking them.
fishing, I was like, oh, there's a fish. When I was at the pool, I was like, oh, there's Yarmer Yager.
Wow. Thank you, Shady Rays.
Shout out Shady Rays. Again, use that code DNVR
It's crazy.
to get 2 pairs for the price of 1.
Yeah.
And what's even better is when you like step on your sunglasses, they just send you a new one.
They really take care of their people.
They do. Brandon
They're all
Elliott
about
says
the
he's
consumer.
a self-oil change crew. That's so manly.
Man, I would watch a YouTube video you made, Brandon, illustrating all that.
I'm the type of person, though, that I feel like I'm smart enough to learn how to change my oil.
Yeah.
I'm not flush with enough care to want to learn that.
Yeah.
Rather just get scammed.
Pretty much.
Nothing feels like more of a scam than having to get anything done on your car.
Oh, for sure.
And you're just like, yeah, go ahead, just scam me, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. You say it needs that. Screw it. I'm down to waste another 20 minutes. Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna keep getting scammed until someone makes a TikTok about how to not get scammed.
Right. And hopefully I remember to check my bookmarks when it's relevant.
It's true. It's true.
Because if not, that's just in one ear, out the other, and forgotten forever.
All right, Dre.
Yeah.
Let's pop open the Bet365 app.
Woo!
Let's scroll over to football.
Yes. Lots of options.
Let's scroll down
Yep.
to player props.
Or
And where do you want to
futures.
start? Or futures. Where's futures? You want to start on futures?
I mean, there's just so many, Ryan.
Okay,
It's
let's-
just plentiful. Shall we start with a regular season win total?
Regular season wins is a great place to start. I love how much they can fit on one page on Bet365. Less scrolling.
Less scrolling. It's all right there. I like that as well. Broncos set at 8.5. The over is where you get a little more juice at plus 100. I know you guys have done an episode where you ran through the entire sketch.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you land on?
I just gotta say, I think we land over this. I think it was 9 at least.
Yep.
The Broncos were a 5-win team last year. This
They
is an
were.
aggressive line
Sure.
to hit.
Sure. Yeah.
Look, we all think the Broncos are going to be improved. We actually went through it yesterday with our Bet365 top 5. Top 5 reasons to be excited about the Broncos this season.
Nice.
But I don't know if I love the idea of a bet where they almost have to double their win total from last season for you to win it.
Yep.
They have to get like 80-something% of their, or 180% of their wins last year for you to win this.
Mm-hmm.
That scares me. From a bettor's perspective, I just don't know if that's a great bet.
It's why you get a little more juice, but
Yeah.
at the same time, don't you? I mean, we all see where they're coming from with this.
Just because of Sean Payton?
Sean Payton, you kind of think it's going to be like a better year. They're not going to lose some of these close games. And it'll all even out a little bit. I'm trying to see point differential for the Broncos last year to see if they were really that bad. Minus 72. Yeah, not great.
Not great, yeah.
It's not great.
But they lost 7 one-score games.
Yep.
And like
Russ
you can
was
close
as
your
bad as
eyes.
he could be.
You can close your eyes and think your way back to games that could have turned. Week 1, 2 fumbles on the goal line. That's a win and like a 35-point scoring output without those.
Yep.
The Chargers game goes to overtime. You fumble a kick. You lose because of it. Like you start going through and you're like, wow, if they just won some like normal games by just not, excuse my language, I already called all-time earmuffs, fucking it up, then you can start to get there.
It's reasonable.
Jimmy Palmtree's had an incredible stat yesterday
Yeah.
where he pointed
Love Jimmy
out that a bunch of teams have improved their win total by 5 or more wins in the last like 5 years.
Yeah. It happens
And-
every season.
Most of them, or half of them, had a new coach that year. So that is one way to unlock it. I loved his comp of the Broncos and Jags. It's like the Jags and Urban Meyer, absolute abject disaster. You bring in Dougie P, a Super Bowl winning head coach, a guy who is certainly competent at the very least. All of a sudden, massive turnaround. They're in the playoffs. They're beating the Chargers because the Chargers chargered. And so, I can kind of envision that world. It's just, is it a good bet?
It's a lot of close matchups, too. You go through that schedule. It's a lot of yep. I think it's fairly easy to get to 9 wins through week 17 to where you could still feel okay, even if they're at 8 wins going into week 18, I like my chances decently enough. If you feel the juice isn't great there, what about Sean Payton, Coach of the Year?
Well, really quick, great point from Daniel, who says the point differential is skewed by the Rams game.
Sure.
That's over half of it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's still... That's point differential for you, right?
Yep. And I also think the offensive line is another reason to...
That's the biggest upgrade.
Yes.
If you're pointing to... And, I mean, I think a healthy Tim Patrick could actually be a massive difference.
Oh, yeah. He's the only guy that didn't try to trade this offseason from that room.
They like Tim Patrick. I got him late in a Devi startup league I'm in.
A Devi?
Yeah, so it's like a dynasty league, but we can draft one college player per season.
Oh, my God. I love that.
Yeah, I'm in 2. I love it so much.
I love that sports betting has forced fantasy to get more creative.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
I want 5 college players. Let me know when they have that league.
We should just play college football fantasy because that is the most amazing of all fantasy football.
I've played Pac-12 fantasy twice. Won both times.
See, I need the entire FBS.
But then everyone's team is stacked to the high heavens.
It's stacked, but you might have guys who are on a random bye in the playoffs that are your stars. I've gone into a final where half my lineup is guys I picked up off waiver, and
Yikes.
still won. It's amazing. If you think that's too rich, though, here's less.
If Sean Payton wins 9 games,
value.
he's getting Coach of the Year.
He's getting Coach of the Year because what would your other candidates realistically be? He has the second shortest odds.
So the favorite on Bet365 is Dan Campbell at plus 1,000.
Dan Campbell had his T Swift moment.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was just going to say that. He had his come up.
He did.
He didn't win.
That's not how Coach of the Year works.
So they what did they win last year? 9 games? The Lions?
That sounds right. It was 8 or 9.
So they win 9 games last year. What's he going to win? 13 this year?
Right, exactly.
They're going to probably win 10 or 11.
I think they've kind of peaked, honestly.
Maybe they've peaked. But they're not. He's not getting coach. I don't know. If you get the Lions to the playoffs, you might as well just give him Coach of the Year.
I just think they're still an 8-9 win team. And they probably make the playoffs because the North is just way weaker.
But you do realize that this is the worst
Rodgers
franchise in the history of sports.
No, I know.
Pretty easily.
No, I know.
So,
but they were kind of America's team by last year.
But
the hype has run out.
They got to the playoffs once with Barry Sanders.
No, I know.
There
was one year with Megatron and Matthew Stafford. I swear that happened.
Yeah, they made it. With Megatron and Matthew Stafford, they made the playoffs a couple times. The best receiver of all time and one of the best stat padding, I would say air raid, but that's not the actual offense.
Vertical
sling it
passers.
Yeah, sling it passers of this generation. It's getting the Lions to the playoffs is a Herculean type of thing to do. So
for sure,
I can see that getting him some love, but it's going to have to be at least a 2-win improvement. Got to win 11 games. They might have won 8 last year.
Getting the Broncos to the playoffs. Also, in this AFC, not a terrible accomplishment.
It wouldn't be viewed the same, but Sean Payton is a brand name in coaching, and people will absolutely be falling all over themselves to pat him on the back if Russell Wilson looks better this year.
Right, and the Broncos haven't looked good for a minute now.
Yeah.
That turnaround would matter. Also, it's kind of set up to be quickly turned around for him.
Yeah. Even if even if it's all Russ, like he does incredible work in the offseason, he gets in great shape and has like the season of his life, 98% of the credit will go to Sean Payton.
Exactly. Look at the other candidates, though. So Dan Campbell, I think, could be set up to have a real case. But I think we kind of have him on narrative that he's peaked already.
Also, I wouldn't count on Jared Goff having like a 30-10 TD to interception ratio again.
Right, exactly. I mean, their skill positions, I do think, have gotten worse.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Matt Eberflus. It's a much more winnable NFC North. I'm not a believer in the Bears.
How many games did they win last year?
Has to
3?
have been like 2 or 3.
I think it was 3.
Artie Smith, one of our favorite bits in the entire NFL. They're starting Desmond Ridder at quarterback. I get that the NFC South is
Trash.
like you could win it with 6 wins this year. But still, I don't think Artie's doing it because he added Bijan.
No.
That ain't
no.
happening. Frank Reich plus 1,600. Okay. You get Bryce. The NFC South is super winnable. The Panthers have been a half-decent team that maybe just needed the right coach. You're gambling on a rookie quarterback.
You're not winning with a rookie.
D'Amico Ryans, rinse and repeat what I just said, but it's rookie quarterback who I believe in less in the AFC South, which is a tougher conference to win.
Nope.
And then LaFleur, you know, if you get
Robert Saleh.
Jordan Love,
But like, are they going to give him the credit or are they going to give it to A-Rod? They'd rather give it to A-Rod.
100%, man.
LaFleur, no.
Dennis Allen, you know, if they have a good season under Derek Carr again, the Saints are in the South, could be the favorites, maybe.
Not
Brandon
for me.
Staley, no way. He's getting. Brandon Staley doesn't have a job by Christmas. Mike
Dougie P won it
McDaniel-
last year, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. And, you know, McDaniel, Stefanski, Tomlin, Steichen.
I'm going to
Nah.
venture to say that if the Broncos have a winning season, Sean Payton is a lock.
Does he need the playoffs? Or does he just need the win total over?
He needs the playoffs.
Aha, which leads us to Denver Broncos to make the playoffs. Yes, plus 195.
Okay, so again, we're looking at value here. I didn't love the value on over 8.5.
Dable won it last year. Coach of the year. Brian Dable with the Giants.
I
Yep.
forgot about him.
We forget about the stinky NFC sometimes.
Thanks, River. Okay, so again, we're looking at value.
Yes.
I believe, I know this isn't like as simple as I'm making it seem. If the Broncos make the playoffs, Sean Payton's winning coach of the year.
So take plus 1,200 instead of plus
195.
195. Great point, Ryan. It's a great point. I do think that's kind of the play. And you were essentially saying this about Mike Malone last year.
Well, and that's where I missed on Mike. But it was that I love our last show before the season because we're kind of talking about, hey, what are the best things that can happen here? And one of the things I said is Nikola Jokic is winning MVP. The Nuggets are getting the 1 seed. And, you know, everything else is going to fall in line. What I missed is that what I'm now seeing so clearly, Dre,
Yes.
is that you have to think about who's getting the credit. Michael Malone was never going to get the credit for the Nuggets. It was always going to go to Jokic,
So true.
as it should.
Yep.
It's just why like Peyton Manning's winning MVP rather than his coach winning coach of the year.
Absolutely. Yep.
Obviously, we know Jokic should have won MVP, and the Nuggets did get the 1 seed. And so on that show, we had Nuggets win to get the 1 seed. We had Nuggets to win the Western Conference, Nuggets to win the championship, and Mike Malone to get coach of the year. We missed on 2, hit on 2.
Yeah.
Those are good ones to hit on.
Big time. Talking about credit, Russell Wilson, comeback player of the year, is boosted. The other candidates aren't that intriguing.
So we've gone over this. We just did a whole show about this, so we won't go too deep into it.
Oh, my bad.
It's going to DeMar Hamlin. All he has to do is set foot on the field.
No.
Yes.
Like as a rotational DB?
Literally, as long as he makes the team, he's getting it.
Okay.
I I'm with you. I'm with you. Kind of shaking my head at that. But no one wants this to happen more than the NFL.
And look, I get it. Like, I love ball. I see this from a guy who loves ball perspective. Sometimes you just do things for the vibes.
Mm-hmm. It's a narrative.
And I can appreciate you're doing something for the vibes and narrative here.
Well, it's more like, in my opinion, I'm more cynical about these things.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, the NFL wants to make sure everyone knows that DeMar Hamlin is okay.
Yep.
Like they're gonna shove DeMar Hamlin in our faces all season long. And
yeah.
I'm like so thankful that he's healthy and okay.
Yeah, no.
But
kidding.
I don't need a year of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So there you go. That's kind of wrapped up. If it wasn't, I would love Russ for that.
It's fair advice though. Does exact finishing position in the division intrigue you?
No, but defensive player of the year intrigues me.
Oh, who's your fave?
Well, so we went over this last year. It's really hard for a defensive back to win defensive player of the year.
It's near impossible.
But the Pat Surtain respect tour is having a run right now.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to pay their respects to Pat Surtain. And he's like really likable. Everyone in the NFL likes him. And everyone in the NFL world likes him.
Yeah.
And if he hasn't a great season where somehow he ends up with like 6 interceptions, I think he could win it. It's
6
plus 5,000.
interceptions. Broncos defense is a top 3 unit.
10, I would say 5. Top 5 unit.
Yeah, I don't think you can get out of that though for him to be seriously like that defense must pop. Must. Plus 5,000. I mean, it's a fun bet to put down.
It's plus 5,000. You do have to compete with like all these sack guys, and if anyone has like 17 sacks, they're just going to give it to him. So that's
like Sauce Gardner plus 14 hundo, he has as good a chance as Sauce Gardner. The path is the exact same.
Totally. Other than the fact that Sauce plays in New York, and he has a cool name.
Yeah, but like both kind of need their teams to win 10 games for the first time in a minute, for the defense to be a top 5 unit and kind of the lead unit to this 10-win team, and to have like 5+ INTs. And like, you know, have one of those seasons where like every week on shows like NFL Live, they can pop up the graphic of like number 1 wide receivers against the Broncos and PS2, you know, and it's like Stephon Diggs, 2 for 35, and, you know, it's just like a murderer's list that you're showing every week. The path is the exact same. So there I could see it. I did think there's a Jerry Jeudy prop.
Let's get that on the other side.
Let's do it. And, of course.
Where are you seeing the player props really quick?
So those are
Still getting
under
used.
futures, the drop down, and you can see
Player regular season reception.
exactly
Cool.
stuff like that. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Send it.
Send it. Do it. Kind Love. You guys got to check out Kind Love, our new dispensary partner. They're really great, man. They were around a bunch during the Nuggets run. We've gotten to try all their products. What's great is they are locally based, and they're not just a dispensary. They are also a grower, and you know, it's really kind of a farm to table type concept. They're growing it in-house. They're kind of able to test it and maximize the products and make sure you're not going through any added cost or chemicals or other bullshit that you don't want to be putting into your body. We've all enjoyed a good turbo joint, which is a little stick you can put in
Can't say I have. But
anything you want, spices it up, might smoke a little longer, and definitely puts you on the right track to have a lovely, relaxing evening. And again, it's all done from Kind Love, who are making this stuff in-house. And the beauty is when you use code DNVR, you'll receive our exclusive discount, 25% off all Kind Love flour, pre-rolls, and their turbo joint line. Check out kindlove.com for more information to see where their 2 locations in town are. They've really been a fantastic partner to work with. And Rhino, how do you feel a good Palisade Peach? It's Palisade Peach season, not just for Breck Brew. It's Palisade Peach season
For the good people of Colorado.
Absolutely. We were in the mountains, Zach Stevens' wedding, drove down, stopped at a peach stand.
Oh my God.
It's been
That's
elite.
the dream.
Oh my God.
How many peaches did you get?
8.
Okay.
Juicy and delicious.
It's always hard to know, like, how many should I get? How many can I eat this week?
I know. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Next time you see a peach stand, call up your boy.
Hook a brother up.
Yeah.
I certainly will.
I'll take a bushel.
Absolutely. The good folks at Breck Brew have somehow managed to create a delicious brew with those hints and touches of that delicious summer treat that is a Palisade Peach. Of course, Breck Brew, they are longtime homies of the show. Check them out with the old Breck Brew locator and find a nice Palisade Peach near you. Kate was enjoying one just last weekend, and it's like, man, this stuff's good. It's the spot.
I still haven't made what I want to try, which is Palisade Peach Strawberry Sky Hybrid.
Whoa.
Yeah. I might call it the smoothie.
Dang, that'd be amazing. I think for starters, Justin Michael, who's basically the Breck farmhouse is a second home.
Yeah.
Not because he has a problem. His girlfriend works there. He was telling me they've got slushies at the farmhouse, which I can't wait to get slushed up.
Wow.
They're good.
And see, Alyssa knows.
Which one did you have?
I had the mango one with the Mountain Dew sour. It's really good. It's sweet, but it's really good.
Sheesh.
Dang, we might have to do some shows from the farmhouse again. Get slushed up. And
Slushy and sloshy.
And I think with those Palisade peaches we picked up, I think Kate's making a cobbler.
Oh, Palisade Peach Cobbler with a Palisade Peach from Breck Brew on the side?
That's like peak life right there.
That is. Check out our friends over at Breck Brew. Use the Breck Brew locator to find the nearest ones to you. You might have Palisade Peach Ale in your area. You just don't know it yet. Use the Breck Brew locator.
Dang.
All right, Dre.
Let's do it, man.
Jerry Jeudy season receiving yards.
Yeah,
Is this the one you were thinking of?
it's the one.
900.5. And I believe this is actually down from last year.
I think so, because we were big on that, right?
I think I got Jerry Jeudy at 950.5 last year.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And he hit it.
972.
He hit it. It was in the last game. He had a decently big game, and he hit the 950.5. Dre, I worry about, we talked about this yesterday. Everyone worries about Jerry's health. And that's always going to be a underlying story.
Yep.
If he stays healthy, I think this is the year that he goes well over 1,000 yards.
In 15 games last season, he gets that 972. As a rookie in 16 games, 856. So he's been right on that line. I just think in this offense, here's the thing about wide receivers. When you are down the way the Broncos have and you're a top wide receiver, you're just getting blanketed when the other defense knows, like, oh, okay, all they can do is pass. We're just going to put 2 on Jerry.
Yeah, but look at what
every
Sean Payton did with Michael Thomas. I know they're very different. But you can't, like, blanket slants.
Well, and that's the thing. When you're not nursing a big lead, which is what opposing defenses were doing against the Broncos quite often, then you're much more unpredictable to defend against as an offense, and you can't just double up on guys like Jerry.
Yep.
And yeah, he's also the intermediate target, which I think will just like he'll be the Michael Thomas. He'll be the target, short receptions, just stacking them up. I can't imagine he regresses this season.
Every time I see Jerry Jeudy touch the ball, I think they need to multiply his touches by 10.
Absolutely.
Now, again, you do worry that like he's gonna get hit in the lower leg and bad things are gonna happen. Touch wood. But he's so elusive with the ball in his hands. He's got people are gonna disagree with me. He might have the best bag of moves in the league. He's insane with the ball in his hand. Sean Payton is gonna look at that and say, "Yeah, just get it to him." Jet sweeps, bubble screens.
Exactly.
Sluggos, everything. Just let him use his natural abilities to get past people.
Yep.
Over 900.5 feels like a lock to me. As long as he's healthy, I'll touch wood again. He's really good. He's been weirdly utilized in his career.
Absolutely. And he's been in rough offenses without great play calling on rough teams. It's just overall hasn't been great. I like that he's figured out some of the drops. I just think the timing with, like, has Russ had the same starting quarterback in consecutive years since, like,
You mean Jerry?
has Jerry, yeah, dating
He's
back
never had
to,
it.
like, I don't know, Tua leaving?
I don't know. Yeah. He might have had 2 years with Tua.
Yeah. That's it, though.
So that would have been his sophomore and junior year.
Yep. Then it's Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, Drew Lock. Who's the next year?
God, I'm blanking completely.
Teddy.
Right?
Russ.
Yeah.
So here you go. I have a question for you.
continuity
This
is
is a
gonna be
little bit in the
huge.
weeds of betting, so sorry for people who aren't that interested in it.
Yeah.
It's minus 110 to go over. Would you take minus 150 if you got injury insurance?
Oh, yeah.
Why hasn't a book done that yet?
They need to, but it's kind of built in. That is the bitch of the over, is you are...
Well, that's why you give up all that value.
Yeah.
And then it's just like if he plays less than 15 games, it's a wash. And honestly, a wash is a win for the book because they get to hold your money for all that time.
Exactly. Who doesn't love that?
Okay. Any other of these lines that intrigue you? There's no other Broncos ones in terms of the receiving yards.
In terms of props, no. The only one I was dabbling in was the exact division position. Drew Sanders, Defensive Rookie of the Year, might be worth a sprinkle, but I don't.
Did you look through? Okay, there's no rushing props for the Broncos just because there's so much.
Yep, I did look through those. There's not even a Jerry Jeudy over-under for touchdowns in the regular season line. Yeah, we're a smidge limited right now.
This one's interesting. Quarterback to lead the league in interceptions.
I was seeing that.
Jordan Love at plus 1,000.
Uh-huh.
CJ Stroud plus 1,000. Josh Allen plus 1,200. That's a wild change there.
That's intriguing, though. Because those other guys might just get the hook if they've been...
You can't give a rookie the hook. Well, Jordan Love's a little different, but CJ Stroud, you're not giving him the hook.
I don't know, like, eventually Zach Wilson stinks so hard you got to pull him.
It's a really good comp. All right, well, let's hear your exact forecast, and then we'll move on.
I think they have a real shot of being second in the division.
Ooh.
As I said, I think Brandon Staley gets his ass fired. The Raiders don't scare me under McDaniels. I think they're kind of like in a downward spiral. They've only gotten worse with Jimmy G. And for the Broncos to end second in the AFC West is plus 260. If you disagree with me, you like the Chargers, that's plus 200 to be third. Plus 550 to be first. I think that's a bit more of a long shot, which...
I wish you would let me do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Because if the Broncos are getting second, it's Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
Division exact order is what you're looking for.
Oh, that exists?
That exists.
What's the difference between that and straight forecast?
I'm not sure.
Division exact order. Now that is interesting. All right, last bet here. Just because it's fun.
Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
It's the second most likely outcome.
Plus 450.
How interesting is that?
That's fun.
Second most likely outcome at plus 450. Just to give you guys an idea, all the way down here is Broncos first, Chiefs second, Chargers third, Raiders fourth, plus 1,100.
Yeah.
Which is that's less than. They find that outcome to be more likely than Chargers 1, Chiefs 2, Raiders 3, Broncos 4.
That's crazy.
We could go through probably a whole show just looking at these. It's kind of crazy.
These are fun.
So anything with the Raiders is considered like
Raiders
crazy.
in first, yeah.
The only thing considered crazier than the Raiders being first is the Chiefs being fourth. So anything that has the Chiefs being fourth in the division is like plus 12,000, which makes sense.
Raiders first, Broncos second, Chargers third, Chiefs fourth, plus 15,000. Yeah.
So that is considered to be the most unlikely outcome of the division.
Not bad.
That's fun. That's fun to look at.
It is.
You want to tell us one more?
Ryan?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all we got?
That's all we got. We could
Love
go
that.
straight into questions.
Wow. Let's hit the questions. Any super chats or notable chats? Ah, yes, our friend, the Mighty Solar Clam. Hit us with a thumbs up, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube. We always appreciate that. We'd love if you subscribed. And keep your eyes peeled for the second this show ends, dropping a tweet on DNVR Broncos about our trip to Chicago. We're going to the Shy.
Wow.
Broncos Bears, October 1st. We're going to be there, meaning DNVR Broncos will be there. And we want you to come with us. And that means you, the listener. You can come with us to Chicago, stay in the same hotel as us, go on the same flights as us, same tailgate as us, same bar on Saturday night with us. We're going to literally go to Chicago. We're going to eat incredible food. We're going to hang out. We're going to get drunk. And we're going to watch the Broncos.
Boom.
And you could do it with us, just like all the people who came to London with us. And I think if you asked any of those people, they would say they had the time of their life.
This is incredible. I'm floored by this news.
Yeah, big news. So
What are the dates?
October 1st. So it's like we're...
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's 3 nights in Chicago.
Early October, perfection.
I know.
What a call.
It's going to be sick. I have some
And-
spots that I got to hit.
When going through the schedule, want to get the games I felt better about.
So like we're getting picked up by a bus from the airport to take us to our hotel.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to like tell the bus driver we got to stop at Johnny's Beef. And then we're all going to eat Johnny's Beef.
That kind of trip. I think I'm going to come with.
Let's fucking go.
We're going to make it happen. Yep.
So keep your eyes peeled on DNVR Broncos for the link. The Mighty Solar Clam says 4 pods with Dre in the last week, heading into the weekend on a high. Happy weekend, boys. Hope your cat gets better. Also, T Swift will never have anything on Michael Jackson. This is blasphemy. I'm sorry. T Swift is blowing Michael Jackson out of the water.
Yeah.
Maybe not with like dancing ability or song quality, depending on what your thing is.
Just straight up merch sales is what we're talking about.
I'm just talking about like fame.
Making people go ape shit.
She's got him. She's got everyone. She's
got
number
us.
one.
Yep.
Just have to come to terms with that.
No doubt about it. You want some
It's like,
comments from the
It's
website?
time to come to terms. Jokic is the best basketball player ever.
Jeez, man, the yo comp, I wasn't ready for that. Comments from the website?
Sure, you're on top of things, man.
DNVR.com. Subscribe today.
You wonder
Become a
why
member today.
Everyone asks Dre to come fill in on their pod when they're not there. It's because he's like on the website already. He told me when he sat down, I got you on the ads. Anyone who says that to me is just
I can
golden
talk
in my
ball
book.
and I can do the ad reads. I mean, what more do you
That's
want? In this biz, that's gonna take you real far, man.
you're gonna get asked to be on a lot of podcasts.
It's gonna take you real far. The count. I miss Carpaccio Chris, Iceman, obscure taking ratings of Larry Den Jr.
LDJ, I miss LDJ. He does
Dang.
pop up on my Twitter feed once in a while. I think he's upset with me because he's a Lakers fan.
Oh, LDJ.
Come back,
on,
LDJ.
Come back. That was just LDJ. We never felt joy ever as Nuggets fans. We had to. That was just a moment for us.
Mason, I do love Al's, but I've recently discovered Johnny's a little outside of town. There's a Johnny's inside of town that's not the same. Johnny's outside of town slaps different.
Dang. But you can settle that, Mason, when you see Rhino in the Shy.
Sorry, LDJ, come back.
Continuing with the count. But I like what's happening on DNVR Nuggets as they seem to be learning that they can talk a little less ball and a little more tableside Caesar salad philosophy. You gents are rubbing off on them. That sounds bad. What's something that you miss?
Okay.
And then also, RK, please give us a saucy Southern play-by-play.
Wow, saucy Southern sounds so good right now. That was where Jake Neely and I went for a barbecue last week.
Wow. Am I going to see a recap of this on a YouTube?
It's already
vlog?
on the pregame show, popping off. So
Check it out.
go check it out on
Yep.
YouTube. Okay, what's something that you missed, Ray?
Like, in general,
Yes, anything in life that you miss.
I'm going to need a sec on that one.
Mine's sad. I don't know why this is the first thing that came to me. I miss caring about the Rockies.
Oh, that is sad.
I miss it so much. Like, there's nothing I wish more than I was like telling I have a friend, back to Tay Swift. I have a buddy staying with me this weekend because his wife invited all of her Swiftie friends to come stay at their house. No room for him. Got the boot.
Holy cow.
Yeah. She's like, hey, look, 7 Swifties are coming over.
Dude,
You got to get out.
you can't do that for anything. This is the T-Swift poll, man.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing.
It is quite amazing. So he's coming over. I wish I could be like, hey, yeah, just like make sure you're over by 6:10 first pitch.
Well, you took me this way. We're going old Denver style. I miss the Rapids playing at Old Mile High.
Whoa.
That's a double missy.
That's Old Mile High.
Yeah, no, completely different vibe. Completely different vibe.
Ooh, I've got one.
Good times.
I miss when DIA wasn't an absolute disaster every time you went there.
What the heck has gone on? It used to be like a hidden gem of airports.
I know.
Now it's a disaster. We're getting
People used to complain about how far outside of the city it was, and I was like, yeah, but at least it's a breeze to get through.
We're getting dunked on for DIA. Not a day goes by that my TikTok feed isn't like, look what happened with those clowns at DIA.
It's so bad.
Whoa, man, it's terrible.
I did get TSA pre, though. Ooh, that's good stuff.
Oh, wow. That's the move right there.
Next one's from Arvada Luke. I like how you needed to stand in for Numby, so you went with a nationally recognizable figure, obviously.
Thanks.
That
I
was
appreciate
yesterday.
that. Thanks, Arvada
Today we
Luke.
needed to stand in for Henry, so we got the other most unhinged person in the office. He goes, that was super cool having Jimmy Palm Trees on. I haven't commented in a bit because I keep relitigating the condiment draft in my head. How does relish count but salsa does not count? If you eat a condiment by itself, does it cease to be a condiment in that moment? Okay, relish counts and salsa doesn't because salsa was too closely related to hot sauce, which Henry and Zach, because they knew I knew sauce so much, tried to squeeze me out by saying all hot sauces are one pick. Which the top 10 best condiments ever, 7 of them are hot sauces. But they wanted all of that to be one thing. So I was like, you don't get to just call hot sauce in Spanish a different pick.
It's also not a condiment.
Anyways.
Salsa, right? That's not a condiment.
It's a
It's
dip.
a salsa. It's a dip, or like then you get into a like chili, smothered in chili.
Yes.
That's neither of those is a condiment.
I agree. The condiment draft was great. I love a controversial draft. We don't have a draft today. We should have.
Ugh, what were we thinking?
But it wouldn't have been fair because we're counting wins now, and I would have been running unopposed.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Finally, last season, it took a pretty long time for us to know Hackett wasn't it. What do you think will be the first sign that Sean Payton has turned things around in the regular season? When do you think we'll have that moment? To me, it will be Broncos have the ball, 1:47 left on the clock, 2 timeouts. They need to go get 6. And he orchestrates a drive, uses the timeouts correctly, gets them into the end zone.
End game clock management.
It's like a mixture of play calling, clock management, and just overall ball knowing.
I'm telling you, man, Arvada Luke, it's going to be 4 offensive drives into the season. You're going to be like, oh, man, I haven't seen that clever misdirection, play call, timing, tempo from a Broncos offense, and I can't remember the last time. I think it's going to be that instant.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last one from Arvada Luke. Also something I'm excited about for the season. Along the ball has to bounce our way lines. Someone on offense has to have some kind of huge year, whether it's JJ, Javonte, or another candidate. I'd like for that to happen. I don't know if that's a has to happen thing.
Yeah.
Eventually they have to be healthy. That I believe in.
Yes. That's for sure.
Also, we'll finish on a Tay Swift note. Nathan Kim says bad taste in music these days. I don't look at it that way.
Nathan, the times they are changing, you know.
But I will say the offerings are very different.
And I mean, it's a story as old as time. The olds will think these days' music is bad. I mean, you know, the olds were saying that about the Beatles, you know. I forget who I was educating
Were
on.
they?
Pennywise. Oh, yeah. They thought it was the devil's music.
Really?
Yes, yes.
They were doing drugs.
They, like T Swift is now, I suppose.
But like they were saying like Sinatra. Now that's real music.
Exactly.
Okay.
But guess what? When Sinatra was in vogue, the olds were probably like, oh my gosh, that's the devil's music. This, you know, mean things about my people. And then they'd be like, Beethoven. That was the real. And then Austria back in the 17th century.
I love how we went
like,
from like the 60s to like the 1800s. I don't know timeline. Someone's gonna call me out on that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
So, you know, Nathan, and it's a story as old as time.
This is kind of like how I feel I've found sports nirvana by just liking every sport. Like you've got
So
like
true.
NHL and NBA people being like, ours is better. I'm like, you guys are dumb. Both are awesome, and you're only missing out by not taking in
It's
the other one.
all amazing. Just embrace
That's
it.
how I feel about music.
There you go.
Everything from Beethoven to
Boom.
Tay Swift, it's good.
That's how it's done. That's how it's done.
All right, I think that's how we're gonna wrap up today.
Just like every Broncos pod matchup is good, you know.
It is kind of true, and
We
we're
are
gonna
we
even
might
get
test that
we're gonna
theory
get
out
even
next
deeper into the
Monday.
weeds next week.
Yeah.
It's a big travel time. I'm traveling for work, unlike Henry and Zach.
Fucking
But-
twerking.
Could get fun next week. Could get random. Could get exciting. We'll see you then.